What's up? What's up? Welcome to another installment of the Soul Table. I'm your host, RBD. Ribs, bottles, and donuts for today. And I'm here with my co-host. Y'all know him as Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike, say something.
What's up, nieces and nephews?
Yeah, he's snooping it as usual. And today we got a builder in the building with us today. Well, maybe not so much in the building with us today, but we got a builder with us. And not just in front of the camera, but behind it, creating platforms, telling stories, and moving the culture all the way forward. If you're not familiar with Grindhouse Studios, you're about to be. Listen, I got Miss Christina Faith with me. She's at the Soul Table right now. Christina, say something to these people.
What's up? I'm so excited to be at the Soul Table. Truly an honor always to be amongst my people. Yeah, I'm just excited. I love building. I love being a part of this community and being so fully accepted.
Ooh, okay. Is there anything particularly like you're working on these days outside of your new studio?
Yeah, we're always working on something. We're currently working on a wrestling documentary with Disney, ESPN, and Anscape, and so that should be coming out in the fall. We're also working on. We have a new podcast coming out called Grindhouse, and we have our grand opening on May 1st. So truly excited about that. And we have before the Plat party, before Roots Picnic on May 29th. So we always got something cooking over here.
I'm gonna be there. That's for damn sure. First of all, you said wrestling. You had me hooked at wrestling. Um, uh, during when what was it, WrestleMania when it was here? Everybody was wrestling in the streets for belts and stuff, and I lost twice. It's cool. It's cool. I got a
Hilarious.
cheesesteak out
Yeah,
here.
I'll be at WrestleMania this year. I'll leave out on Thursday.
Okay. All right. Well, we like to kick things
It's
off
my first one.
a little differently here. We go through what is it called? Our fit checks. So we're gonna start off with Mike so you can see how it goes. Mike, what you got on today, Mike?
A little subtle J tips, shorts on because it's nice.
Okay. He said subtle J tips because J tips ain't never been subtle, and we know that to be true because that's how
Nothing
he
he
is,
does
and
is
so. So today I'm wearing actually, you know what? We gonna go to Christina. Christina, what you got on? Let's start there. What you got on?
I got on the WNBA Kobe's. You know, I don't mind. I'll take them off my foot. I got on WNBA Kobe's. Today is the WNBA draft.
It
Today's
is.
draft day, so I figured I'll be all WNBA out today. So
Okay. I like it. Well, today I have on my Action Bronsons. The new baklavas that just released not too long ago in the 1890s. I have on socks from Apothecary. I constantly put those on because Mike won't give me his Amazon link. And I have where do these pants come from? I don't remember. Oh, ASRV.
Oh, ASRV.
Yeah,
Okay.
these ASRV pants. The shirt, the jersey today is Mickey Mantle from Michelin S. Hi. The hat is from Hat Club, and it's the Seinfeld series. That's why I put on Mickey Mantle because that's George's favorite baseball player and his
you hit
idol.
on that. I was upset I didn't hit on that.
Listen. When that came, that hat, that collection dropped, I was on the phone with Mike, and I was like, I'm getting them all. I was like, honestly, I don't even care about the Yankees because I got like 15 Yankees hats. I just want the Mets, and that's it. And I didn't get the Mets, did I? I was tight. But they kept, bringing back out the Yankees and the Orioles. I'm like, bring back out the Mets. There's something about that orange. I'm not a Mets fan. Let's get this correct. But it's something about the
I was gonna
orange.
say, are you a fan?
I'm a fan. All right. So truth be told, I'm a Yankees fan and a Phillies fan. But there's a reason why. The Yankees was I used to play baseball growing up. My dad made me watch Johnny Bench and like old games of him, and he would always talk about Thurman Munson, and got heavy into baseball. And he was like, "You're gonna like these two." And the Phillies, my favorite player of all time is favorite players is Griffey, Bonds, and Darren Dalton. And my mom's one of her closest friends is Lenny Dykstra. So he used to always be at the house, and how like kids would be like, "Oh, I got Michael Jackson at my house for dinner," and nobody would believe me. I'm like, Lenny Dykstra's at my house, and lo and behold, he's at my house. Only a couple of my friends seen him, but it was like, oh, he's there. I was that kid. So, yeah, that Yankees always gonna be my team. But I still hold Phillies down to the core. So like when they went to the World Series and they played the Yankees, I rooted for the Yankees. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's okay. So you're really a Yankees fan.
I could not go. I knew they was going to lose. I run with the winners. RTW. Learn from LeBron.
Hmm. Yeah, the only sports league that I don't wear anything other than uh, my team is NFL. Everything else is all for fashion.
Okay. So what's your team in the league in the NFL?
The Eagles.
Okay, you gotta ask. You never know. Listen, like couple weeks ago, I found the Eagles nest in on Kelly Drive, like a real Eagles nest. I'll send you the pictures. It's real, and
Yeah.
it was it was two bald eagles just flying around, and I only recognized it because the Eagles call, and it's not the same call that you hear at the Eagles game. Is a different type of piercing. I was like,
Hmm.
that has to be either a hawk or eagle, and I looked up and it's this giant beaver's nest, logs, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely eagle. And as I'm sitting there, it's me and I'm pretty sure this dude was on crack, and bird watching was his secondary hobby. So we walking through it. I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna get too close. And he was like, well, I mean, it's not gonna bother. I said, no, Eagles are very territorial, bro. Like, I'm serious. They'll rip. Their talons can rip bone off. I mean, meat off bone. I'm not gonna be one of them. I was like, because I will
Yeah.
sock an eagle. I was like, I am not an Eagles fan. I will knock an
That's
eagle out in a heart.
not soccer eagle. That's crazy.
Yes, I will punch it square in the face, knock it unconscious.
You're brave. I'm not going anywhere near an eagle.
No, but it was majestic. Do you hear me?
Oh yeah, the Eagles are
He
amazing.
was just gliding. I don't even think he was moving. He just let the wind get underneath that one feather, but it was cool. But you know what? Let's start here while we're here. So everything, every hot thing in sneakers eventually dies, right? So
Hmm.
it starts with early adopters, then it goes mainstream, then it becomes oversaturated, and
Hmm.
to be fair, we've all seen it. So think about it in the limelight. I mean the light of the panda effect. Something goes from I need those to everybody got those, you know,
Hmm.
and the question, can anything stay exclusive anymore, or is saturation just a part of the game now? So just from from your perspective, especially being in the media, do trends die fast now because of content, or is social media speeding it up? What do you think? Or do you feel things can stay underground?
Um, I think it's I think social media does something that we never had before, which is it makes things not regional anymore, right? And so what took time to spread now can spread really easily because of social media, and just because we're globally connected now in a way that we never were before. Like you think about COVID, COVID spread the way that it did because we're all so global, not just online, but in general we're all moving around in a way that we never 20 years ago we didn't even think about it like that. Like because of social media so many more people travel, think about it like that, right?
Right.
Because they've seen where other people have gone. I don't know. I think exclusivity only stays a trend when the amount of pieces are limited at this time,
Right.
right? So if it's limited, it'll stay limited because it wasn't a lot made. But because we're all looking at each other's style, I think it's going to be really hard. But the reality is, like, 10% of all content created online is by influencers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 90% of it is by influencers, but it's only 10% of people. And so it just all spreads really differently, but it's also the same type of people. Like, think about the amount of people, the different people that you see. You're seeing the same people over and over, not necessarily new people popping up. So, yeah, I don't think things can stay exclusive like they used to unless it's created in limited quantity.
Okay. So Mike, you feel the same way?
Um, I mean, I think they kind of force exclusivity by the limited editions and like limiting to the amount of sneakers that actually come out. That I think that is their form of exclusivity.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
I feel like oversaturation as far as like we're in the era of the like a sneaker. It could be 1,000 pairs of the sneaker, but as far as like the social media era of like the sneaker would be in your face, you know, on your timeline every day as soon as you open up your app. So I think we're because like I come from the era of like I wasn't able to see a pair of SB Dooms, like MF Doom SBs without somebody buying them and me seeing them in hand.
Right.
And now we're at the stage of like I can see this sneaker whenever I want.
You just talking about just visually seeing it, or
But literally
Yeah.
visually seeing something.
okay. So for me, I think in order for things to stay exclusive, obviously it takes a little bit of work. So you get those limited releases like we've all, you've alluded to, where there's a limited amount of pairs. So for example, if Nigel Sylvester drops 20,000 shoes, 20,000 units, and out of those 20,000, 100 of them are friends and family. And that's where that exclusivity then comes from, because now you've taken it and you've sectioned it off to just these innate people have it. And while you want it and you can't get it, that's still something exclusive. So for me, knowing that the exclusivity still exists, because people like PJ Tucker break every rule that they can possibly exist, because he has a tendency to get things even the players don't even have, and they were told it was one of one, and they might have given up and lost it, and he somehow ends up with it. At one point, I'm gonna be real, I was thinking the shit was fake, because I was like, there's no way you got it. Like, he showed up to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, and Melo said, how did you get a pair of these, because there was only 2 made, and I told him to destroy the other one. How did you get it? Somebody at Jordan Brand got fired if we don't. Yeah, so it was just like,
Or they not there no more,
and that's the crazy part about it. So exclusivity does exist, but it comes at a premium. Somebody gonna lose their job, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but the social media speed it up. I think it speeds up the knowledge that we know about it, obviously, because people are so hell bent to put things on social media to up their analytics, up their numbers, up their likes, up their views, and up their followers. So it doesn't get an opportunity just to stay just for them. And it's crazy that I have on Action Bronson's right now, because remember, he started out with Adidas and he left because they leaked his shoe. And the fact that he was like, I want this exclusive just for my people, and he said, no, I'm out. Don't even use my name. But they still made that camo shoe, and they just didn't put his name to it. So in my opinion, it comes at a premium. It's either, the only way it can stay exclusive is sworn to some form of secrecy, but it's going to come at a penalty just to let it out. That's how I view it. And can it stay underground? Only if you keep it there. And it's impossible, because everybody wants to be that next it person. Everybody wants to go viral. And that takes, in my opinion, that adds and takes away from the culture, because we want to see it, but we like, you definitely could have just kept that in the tuck. But there are some people that do keep stuff in the tuck. So, hey, it's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, and I think people have to ask themselves a question like, is the reason you wanted exclusivity? And if that begs the question of like, do you really want the product, or do you just want it because it's exclusive? And if you just like, I never wanted sneakers necessarily because they were exclusive. I wanted them because I liked them.
Right.
And I think that's something that people have to begin to wrestle with, of their why.
Okay, that's fair. I like that, because you're wrestling with it, and again, that leads to, not the next question, but it leads to a whole different subject. What are you doing it for? Is it for you, or is it for the analytics?
Yeah.
Is it for the likes? And now, like, we're of that age, we're of that bracket where we were all out here standing in lines at one point, sleeping on the streets, having friends go get stuff. We was all doing this. We was on the pavement, feet the curb.
Yeah.
And now, you don't even get that opportunity. Like this era of the culture doesn't even get the opportunity to do that, because now they gotta, go through the cyber lines. And the question is, now you in line and you don't know if you're going up against a bot or a back door. Like you have no clue of what's going on. So now you like, well, what's going on? Like, we all read the story of the lady that started off at Facebook, went to Nike and was backdooring stuff to her son for what, $100,000. And we like, he was getting the shoes for this, then, nice kicks and all that stuff didn't happen. And we looking like, damn, I should have just robbed the train with the rest of them. Like,
That's crazy. That's insane.
I'm just saying, it is what it is. Okay. So we're gonna take a quick break. We gotta pay some bills. Because if we don't, the light's gonna get cut off. And I like my man, uh, nice stash over there. Yeah, I like big Jones, like big thick Jones.
Nice.
You know,
For real.
definitely a big Joe to keep you cool in the summer, and in the winter definitely keep you warm. Cause like, shape is like sleek, like athletic build. You know, it hold the moisture in real well.
Right there.
No straw. Like I'm talking straight to the face, to the head, just like that.
Being too loud. Being thirsty.
You talking about the joint over there? No, I was talking about my bottle. You got a problem, man. You're thirsty, Miss, ma'am. He got something he want to say. All right, so let's go deeper. Creators build the culture, but they don't own it. Influencers push the product, brands collect the profits. Visibility doesn't equal doesn't equal ownership. So we've seen creators make sneakers hot and still have not seen anything past the post. So let me ask you a question. From you running Grindhouse, who really profits from sneaker content? I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying who, in your opinion, who
Oh, the
stems it collect from?
brands. Well, it depends. It depends, right? So some people are is paid marketing, right? So the creator does benefit from the fact that they've been asked to create something, right? So that's one side of it, right? So the creator of the content who's pushing the brand is benefited from it, that they're profiting from it, right? But brands, like at the end of the day, content creation keeps brands in the front of people's faces, right? And so it 100%, like there's no ownership in it. It's no different than, who benefits from a movie being made, right? The creator of it doesn't necessarily benefit from it. They'll get their day rate, they'll get their not their day rate, but they'll get their whatever it costs to have them on the service, but they don't own the product, right? And so that's a big issue just in general, not simply with content creation, but also in the industry as a whole. I think the problem is that you're promoting a product, right? So it's not like you can necessarily have IP ownership of some of the product, right? Most of the designers who create the shoe don't even have ownership of the product. And so, yeah, the brands benefit the most from it, and then the people who want the product but don't necessarily, we don't go into stores like we used to, right? And so the people who want to see what it is without having to go into a store, like we benefit from that as well. So I think it's a interesting like conundrum of creation in this content creation world that we have, but the brands most certainly benefit from it more than everybody else.
Okay, so do you feel like creators need to stop chasing collabs and start building their own platforms?
You know, it's a yes and a no in a sense, mainly because I think everybody chased Netflix, not just streaming platforms, but also independent platforms chased it. The infrastructure that it takes to build something is extremely hard. And so people have to figure out like, is this something that they want to do? And so I think, out of the 100%, maybe 3 or 5% may actually start doing that, but you got to count the cost, right? Is this something that you're doing because you just want to do it? Or is this something that you want to actually build? And building the platform is just not easy. I don't think you should chase anything in life. I think you should chase whatever your purpose is. And as you do that, more of what you desire or more of what you're chasing will begin to come to you. I think one of the bad things about sneaker collabs and all that kind of stuff and paid partnership is that people are making stuff just to get paid. And a lot of the people, I could use Najim. I can Najim is an example of somebody who was doing this long before he ever got paid, right?
Hmm.
He was just doing it because he loved it. And I think a lot of times people aren't doing it because they love it, they're doing it because they want to get paid. And that's generally when the burnout starts to happen.
Right. So do you feel like creators are getting used, or is that just the price of access? Because in my opinion, by what you said, and he said you said creators getting burnt out from it. It feels like they are just accepting that this is the price of the access.
The price is the price, whether regardless of how you set your prices or somebody else sets their price, right? The the brands the brands are looking at their bottom line. how much can we spend on marketing in order to push this product? And then they say, hey, we want to work with this agency to do it, right? But we're going to give this agency a certain amount, and then we're going to allocate the rest for gifting and things like that. I don't I don't know if it's fair to ask the brand to necessarily pay more. Like if that's what you're worth, that's what you're worth, that's what you're worth. But at the same time, the question is, do you just want it because you want the check, or do you want it because you want the partnership? And you should say what your price is and never falter on what your price is. Whatever your price is, ask for your price. Um, but I think the issue becomes is that many content creators are trying to rely on solely content as their financial stability. And that's a problem, right? Because you need to have some type of product that you're pushing that you own yourself. And so I think, you might not go make a sneaker, but you might go make a fragrance or something like that. You might not make a fragrance, but you might make some socks. And so you have to figure out like how are you creating another stream of income that doesn't just rely on sponsorship and branding, because it's changing so much and continues to change and continues to evolve. The money that people were getting in 2020, the brands are just not putting it out like that because they honestly don't have it like that anymore. Everybody has wasted so much money, and we have so many people and so many businesses going into bankruptcy. So things are shifting, and you have to figure out where you're going to shift to. It can't just be about the brand getting the brand bag, because the brand bag is dried up a lot. If that answers your question.
No, you damn right it answered my question, because I'm sitting up here like, all right, like you walked me down the hallway and walked me down the hallway and showed me every classroom on the floor and told me what's in it. This is science, this is math, this is history. And I'm like listening, I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's why I turned the mic. It's like, you got something you want to add? Because it sounded like she just mic dropped on the first one. And I'm like,
No.
it's cool. It's cool. Cause in my opinion, like we just had one of the coolest things that happened, and this might get a little narrow in black culture with what Wallow did when he decided, hey, I'm gonna make my own shoe. I like how he took it in his own hands. At first, it went from I'm gonna ask sneaker companies to donate 2,000 shoes, and put their money where their mouth is, to him going, now I'm gonna just do it. And when I seen that, I was like, I like that, because it wasn't a move that hasn't been done before, but it's a message that he's pushing out. He sold a thought concept. He sold a way of living. Based like, and what do you say? First class isn't just the seat in the like. It's not just a seat. It's a lifestyle, and he's having you live in first class. And I enjoyed that. That right there, if anything is going to sell it, he sold the message. He didn't sell the product.
Yeah, great messaging. Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's him taking his platform and making it not for himself, but he's making it accessible to everybody. He's making you realize this is what it's for. I like helping people, so this is what I'm gonna do. I want people to not just feel comfortable, but I want them to feel like they're a part of it. Grow with me, and we'll grow together. Mm-hmm. That's what I took from it. So I enjoyed it. So like not too long ago, I did a reel on it, and I honestly been getting crazy feedback, because that's how I look at it. I don't just look at shoes as things that go on my feet that add to my style and is my flavor for that day, or how I'm feeling, to express how I'm feeling. I look at it as like these are messages. I like the stories behind it, and the fact that he didn't just create a story, he created a way of thinking, a better way of thinking. I was all for it. That was solely it.
Yeah, I think a great example of that is like Kool Kai. People don't necessarily like Kool Kai, but Kool Kai he's been doing that for years now, right? And continues to actively do that, continues to create a sneaker. He got sued by Nike, and then he redeveloped another one. And he's done some really cool things, even within, he has the cannabis culture that he's a part of. He also has a lot of 3D culture and 3D printing and stuff. So like one of the things that he created that was absolutely amazing was an Apple Pen case. And I was like, bro, put that on sale right now. Because one thing no one really has is Apple Pen cases.
They don't.
And so I think just, the desire the desire for people to create is really where we have to focus on. I think for far too long, people have focused on brands, and I get it, but at the same time, I understand where brands are. Brands are fighting for their lives. We'll see more, more bankruptcies than we've ever seen in the next 5 years because of all the things that have happened in the last 6 to 7 years. And so, it's going to be really interesting to create independence, but also knowing that we as consumers don't necessarily like certain innovation. And so, the shoe creation game is a hard game to be in general because it's decades of people liking certain things. And so the model of the shoe has to be right. The feel has to be right. You have to figure out how not to make it where it look like something else. But at the same time, you can't go too far over because people don't necessarily want something else. Brands like EQLZ, which is really dope, right? They're coming out with some great technology. And so I think there's always innovation everywhere, but a big part of the problem is that we often purchase things based on nostalgia. And so it's really dope just to see kind of like where everybody is going and how things are shaping up.
I like that. I'm in with that. All right, hold on. We gotta pay some more bills again, because we like lights.
Pay the bills.
We like lights. Just give it a second.
Yo, it's 2026, man. We need some fresh ideas. You feel me? Like, what y'all got?
Scavenger hunt. Find the dildo.
Listen, yo.
Prize.
Why do I
WNBA
Yo,
tickets.
what you got, man?
Straws, adjustable in length and width.
Get out. Y'all both fire. Come on, man. We need better ideas.
You thirsty?
Who thirsty? I know you ain't talking about me. You gotta be talking about him.
No, not like that, man. I mean, we a water bottle brand. We gotta push drinking water.
Bet, I got it. The You Thirsty 5K. We spreading awareness on the importance of drinking water and hydrating. Plus, getting niggas off the couch and out there running. I think we on to something. Yeah. See, this is why I pay y'all the big bucks, man.
Yo, you don't even pay us. Yo, where's my money? You don't even pay us. You paid the Asian boy. He ain't even coming here with no food, no laundry. He ain't give no net, man. I don't even.
All right, let's talk about the shift in sneaker culture. Like, sneaker culture used to connect people. Now it feels like it just takes people and puts them against themselves. Basically compares people. It used to be about community, and now it's about clout. So passion turned into performance, and metrics replaced it. So, your likes, your views, and who got it first, or who got the most exclusive pair, like stuff like that. So let me ask you this: are we part of a culture or competing inside of it?
This is a hard question, right? This is why I'll say uh, it's a hard question. Number one, if you are looking for brand deals, you're competing, right? That's just a part of that's a part of the world we live in, right? If you want to be gifted and you want to be seated, you're competing, right? That is number one. But if you're looking for community, you're not competing. I think one of the coolest things that I've personally experienced being in a secret culture is just how connected we all are in a sense, and how people can become fast friends. I just went to Milwaukee for Shake's 414 day and served them in the sneaker culture for 3 days. And you can't put if community for you is just about what you have in the sneaker culture, you're gonna miss what's really here. And I've literally traveled to multiple states at this point, meeting people in the culture. And you can look at people like Abdul. Abdul pop up at almost every event that there is because community is there. Now, granted, he is still hunting and chasing whatever sneaker is there, but it really was. I can say for me personally, I went to Milwaukee just to serve some kids, and that's what I thought I was going to get. But I came back like, wow, oh, this thing is much bigger. Not because of the service to the kids, but just seeing the amount of people, the different kind of people, how we all came together to help them. He launched a brand new store called Sneaks that he's already had, but he has a new location. And it was really dope to experience that, to meet friends from out of town that you see at releases, that these people who you met one time, you continue to have relationship and community with them. Hey, I'm trying to get this, hitting the homie up, yo, can you help me? Because it is so hard competing for sneakers just to purchase them at this point. Having those people who understand you, who are there with you in a sense, in a way that um, is it's a very interesting hobby to have, right? Where most people, my aunt comes in and she's like, "Oh my gosh, why you have so many sneakers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but no matter how I try to explain it, she will never understand."
No.
And so I think it you can you can look at sneakers like you're competing, but there's a community of people that you never would have met had it not been for sneakers. And that community can be very wide and vast. But if you start coming into coming into the sneakers thinking about competition, you're not going to receive what you could receive from sneakers, which is some really dope friends in other states and cities and countries. And so sneakers has done more for me than I've done for it. I feel like because it's I had a hard time having friends growing up, right? And I have some amazing friends. I have amazing inner circle type thing. And this light went off again. I have amazing inner circle type thing. But sneakers has really done something for me that I don't think at the age of I'm 43. At 43, I would have ever experienced, right? And so, yeah, I don't look at the sneaker community as a competition. I also don't get involved in none of that stuff. None of it. I am the positive light in the midst of darkness on Twitter. Because a lot of people they move from the wrong perspective. And so I'm always trying to move from a perspective of like what's for me, number one, is gonna be for me. And number two, like I don't have to compete with you because of what you got on your feet or what you're wearing. Like I'm wearing what I like and I'm blessed to be able to do that. And so the sneaker community is still alive and well in a way that I don't think a lot of people are experiencing because of some of the negativity.
Okay, Mike, you feel like it's competition a little bit, or we
I
like are we
don't
a
think
part of the culture?
necessarily. I mean, me personally, I don't think it's necessarily competition. I think there's always that back thought of like maybe a comparison, because you always want to like,
Mm,
this person has this and I really want those, but it's not like a out of like a jealousy aspect. It's just like oh, I want those. I see they have
mm,
those. I want to get those too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think the community comes
yeah.
from like the events and the curated spaces that we've seen, obviously, like for one, like the Joe Freshgoods event that we met a bunch of people where
Hmm.
without that event we wouldn't have got to meet Hassan from My First Kicks Pod, or
Right.
Ashley,
Hmm.
our
Yeah.
beloved Ashley, you know what I mean, or you know what I mean. So it's just like, or
I met
Kari, or
same. I met Ashley at an event too. I
right.
wouldn't have met you guys had I not gone to
Well,
the
yeah,
event. Like,
I met
and
you at an
so
event,
yeah, I
yeah.
think it's it.
Yeah, she was everywhere like air. Uh, do I feel like we're still part of it? I feel like there's still a culture, but I also feel like there are an abundance of people in the competition because it's like I got to get them first, and like the previous question, it becomes about the clicks, the likes. It becomes more analytical than it does become about just being informative. Like we don't like when I remember in I say what was it? My daughter's 2011, so 2010 the Jordan Playoff 13s released, and I got them like a month or two early. And in my mind, it wasn't, oh, I got these first. In my mind, it was I just got the shoes, and I really wanted them, so I paid a little bit extra and got them. And everybody was like,
You knew you had to have them Jones first.
but that's what I'm saying. Like that, in their mind, that's what they thought. So I'm like, I got them, and I didn't think much of it, but they thought it was like a little competition. So then, from then on, when I seen somebody, I bet you ain't got these yet. I bet you ain't got these yet. And I'm like, I don't live like that. Like, it's not you're not making it a sport that is fun for me. So once you take the fun out, now I'm just going, try to stay away from you as much as not stay away from, but try to not be around you as much. But I think with the way the culture works, and a lot of people taking things and not even really putting them out, like wearing the shoe as it is, people tend to put them up as just trophies, or put them, like, stash them away just to say that they got them. That becomes the competition in itself. So I think we as the sneaker culture can do something not to combat that, but if that's what you want to do what you will with the shoe. But I like seeing people wear their stuff. Like I've come across people with stuff that I wanted that I couldn't get at the time, or I don't have, or I'm not able to get. And I'm like, hey man, that's a dope shoe. I love it. So
Or just pass the shoe, like even just like I like how you put that together with that shoe. I wouldn't have thought about putting that together with that shoe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Right. The compliments with it, which leads the next question. Do you feel like the culture has lost something as it grew?
I think yeah, because people got older, things shift. I think if you go to certain events and stuff like that, that culture is literally still there. Um, but sneakers as a stock market has shifted things, right? But for me, it all depends, right? If you were able to get everything that you wanted when you were younger, you don't really care much at all at this point, right? But if you're like me who waited to really go back in and reinvest, it's still fine for me because I don't really care what other people do, to be very honest. Like if you got something on, like to Mike's point, if you got some on and I like how you put it together. I was like, oh wow, I never seen how you put it together like that. Like I personally like seeing it on foot because on foot changes everything for me. But I don't. I think the message that I would want to send is like to pay less attention to what people who are negative are doing and more attention to the positive, right? Because there is a lot of positive within it, but I think we all get bogged down on negative, right? Somebody made a comment on something recently, and this person has so much positive, encouraging comments everywhere. Like it blew up like never before. But that one little negative troll got his attention. And so I think a lot of times we let the negative overpower what's actually going on, um, versus, what we can pay attention to. And so I try not to pay attention to people too much that's negative personally.
I do. So all right. So and if you can't comment on this, that's fine. So like to the
Mhm.
point of like a couple months ago with Ronnie Fig releasing the what was it, My Biggest Haters?
Yeah.
Was it an Air Max?
Oh yeah.
And he
Yeah.
sent the shoe. It was like what one of whatever, and he sent it to his
Yeah,
biggest
he
hater.
trolled that man.
So it's
Something
That's
serious.
awesome. I love that level of pettiness.
So I think people was pissed because people like Chef Doomy, like
Right.
he was somebody who really wanted it, but I think what he did, I agree with what Ronnie did, right? Because it was specifically made for his biggest hater, right? So his purpose and his intent was one thing, but I bet you know what he did? He probably made him into a customer, right? You think I remember TJ talked with TJ, right? Shake sent her some Adidas because she owned not one Adidas, and now she produces Adidas events now. You think about Nate. Welty sent him some New Balances because he was like, I'm never wearing a New Balance, and now he wears New Balances. And so I get why they did it. I don't think it necessarily comes across to everybody else as that, because it's like, somebody more deserving could receive it. But if you can convert your hater into your fan, I think that's worth it. And you know what Ronnie did that day is he got plenty of people talking and got some more free promotion for $200 worth of sneakers.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is wild.
That's how I personally think about it.
That's genius. So we got to find
Cheapest ad ever.
what?
Ad placement
Cheapest
ever.
ad given,
Yeah.
give it to your haters.
Yeah.
Okay. So this like I say, is social media turning the community into a hierarchy then? Like, cause like if like
It
you
is a
said,
hierarchy. Social media didn't turn it into it. I don't think social media turned it into it. I think it revealed it.
they revealed it. All right, because that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking more so it's not so much that social media did it. It's just now that we got so many different platforms. We got Threads, we got Instagram, we got Facebook, we got TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is 2 seconds away from being exposed. So yeah, that'll just answer that.
I also think there was also a hierarchy within the sneaker community, whether it was localized. Now it's just nationwide or worldwide, I guess you could say. Like
Now we can see it.
yeah, now
See
we
it.
can see it. But back then, if you wasn't part of the in crowd at Ubik, you wasn't getting
Hey,
certain
shut
stuff.
up, man. Shut
Like,
up. Shut up.
if you wasn't an advocate, if you wasn't part of the hierarchy of advocates, you weren't getting certain
Definitely
things.
wasn't getting nothing if you wasn't a part of the advocates crowd, which is totally fine because a lot of those guys are going to do great things. So I love them. That was fun. Okay, now me and Mike had this conversation not too long ago, and we were talking about influencers having not their own influence on their stuff. So it's basically we feel like, well, I personally, I don't know how he feels now because it might have changed. Like there's not enough authenticity out there now. Is this just the way it is now, or can that possibly be changed? Because like you'll get an influencer and they're, talking about what Hocus, and they're like, hey, this shoe is this, and they never put it on their foot. They're just doing it for the payment.
I have Hokas. I love them.
That's fine. Like
I got
what
my
you like.
first pair gifted. I'm just saying, but no, but I'm just saying. I think authenticity is something that people have to struggle with. I don't think it's necessarily brands' fault, right? If you don't like it, you don't like it. And that now, granted, actually, somebody said that this weekend. Actually, a designer. I think he said it openly, so I can say it. So AC Cooper was just talking about, back in the day, you used to be able to, fly in and have conversations with people, and they would tell you what they liked about the shoe. He's like, unfortunately, brands give shoes today, and you can't share how you really feel about it. I think some people can, right? Depending on how you do your reviews and things like that. And so, but brands don't necessarily like negative, press. And so I think it's the thing of how can you authentically say something good about something you don't necessarily like because they gave it to you. And so yeah, I don't know if we're always going to get back to full authenticity, but I do know that creators can decide how they want to share it, right? Versus just popping it up because somebody gave it to you. And I think that's a problem, right? You should, if you
Right.
like it, post it. If you don't post it. Or people can get creative. They can go get their little cousin to put it on. They can use and put that video on their platform. I think people just aren't necessarily thinking about it from the perspective. Also because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I started getting gifted and I don't get a lot. But baby, when it all come at once, it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to think about how you're gonna wear this, what you're gonna do. So I think sometimes they're doing it because it's just the volume of stuff that's coming into them. And I don't know. I don't know. I do think it has changed because people want to keep their volume up. But at the same time, I think it's the creator's responsibility to remain authentic to who they are versus just doing something because they got it.
Okay. All right.
And sometimes it says, how can you freak this outfit? If this is a mid pair of sneakers, can you do something? And that really shows me that you really got it if you can make a pair of mid sneakers look fly.
That's gonna be my goal this week. Let's see if we do this. Just find some average shoes and just put them on. Like, you really did it. I'm sending it to you and be like, now, what you think?
Yeah.
Now, don't lie. Be like, that's trash. Just trash me out. I'm cool with that. I'm fine.
No, I'm gonna tell you. It's trash.
No, I can see you got serious. You went from the smile to the eyebrows went down. I'm gonna tell you.
How about I do a challenge for both of y'all?
I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
How about we go to Walmart and get some Avias and see if y'all can really freak them?
I can do that. I bought some Avias. Jamerson had some Avias.
All right.
Cute little orange joints.
No, nothing too crazy, like
Ain't
subtle
mad at it.
colorway.
You said cute little orange joints. She already won.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. No, listen.
He gonna go pick the ones for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick.
And they gonna be the pop Jones with the thick white sole. Like, do something.
And the double
See,
strap.
now you intentionally picking a trash shoe.
If you get the double strap Jones, you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. All right.
Like somebody sent me a pair, and I really did like the pair, but I didn't like the colorway, and so I did what I did with the colorway, and then I gifted them to somebody else because I just wouldn't wear that colorway.
All right. So let's have a little fun. So it's game time. So let's get this energy up. I like where we're at in this good pace. So let's keep it going. So we're gonna break it down like this. What is the best sneaker era now? You got 4 choices. You can choose one, and you got to argue your case down. And it doesn't matter what the answer is, but all 3 of us are going to pick our eras and go from there. So you got the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and 2010. So whatever you say, you standing on it. Does that sound cool? Does that sound clear?
The best, you saying the best era?
The best era, whatever era you choose. So if you choose the 80s, you got to argue the 80s. If Mike chooses the 90s, you want to argue the 90s. Or you want to do it, Mike?
Just between you.
Okay, it's just between us. Fine, you be the judge. We need a judge anyway, so that works.
That's why I'm being
okay.
judge.
Don't say it like that, man. I told you, man. Lisa, you don't want Lisa up here. All right. So which era do you want, Miss Christina, Miss Faith?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the 90s all day. It's the best era because it's everything we're retroing now is from the 90s. It's the best era of basketball. It's the best era of running shoes. It's the best. It's literally the best era. Like when we think about what we're chasing the 90s. We're not chasing the 80s. We're chasing the 90s. And so I'm 100 always going to say the 90s. If we think about all the models that Brooks is bringing back out, it's the 90s. If you think about Asics, New Balance, Adidas, as well as Nike, they're all re-releasing their 90s collabs. There's a reason why we think dad shoes are great. Those are 90s shoes. And so I think just in general, I'm always going to go with the 90s because a lot of the things that I can't get, technology in the 90s was trash. But as far as sneaker silhouette and style, I'm going to go with the 90s.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be difficult. I'm going to take the 80s.
Be difficult,
I'm going to take the 80s. And while I was born in the 80s, I technically can't say I'm an 80s baby. Well, I can because I was born in the 80s, but everybody knows if you're born in the 80s, you're a 90s baby. It is what it is. So I can't disagree with you anyway. On the 90s, you're absolutely right. However, the 80s is where it all started. Like you had Magic, you had Bird, you had Converse, you had a whole gangload of people under Converse, and everybody wanted to wear Converse during that time frame. Now, if you go a little bit, closer, later in the 80s, now you talking Mike. So you hit that 84, 85 era, and Nike turns it all the way up. They said, Mike, here we go. We're going to give you this. And Mikey, might as well call it that. Mike takes Nike and puts him through the stratosphere. So you have the first ever story created through Mike, because now we all know Jordan 1 Chicago, that is the best selling shoe of all time. Then you have the Band, which is another best selling shoe of all time, which lived off of one of the biggest lies of all time. Now let's put it out this way. Mike never wore the bread in a game. He only wore it in the dunk contest. So what fines he paid and had Nike pay never existed. Let's point that out. So that's the first story where we got the story. It was like, we want these. That is the first hype trade. I'm all for stories. Give me the first story. Now you keep traveling down the 80s, we get Tinker. And we get Tinker at what? Jordan 3. And Mike was about to leave. Now, if Tinker don't show up to Nike like he's supposed to and give us that Air Max 1, because after that Air Max 1, you get your 90. You get your Tailwind, you get your Air Max 93, you get every Air Max after that. But it starts with the 1. Everything started in the 80s. And during that time frame, you had hip hop culture that was like budding from that early era of, I'm gonna call it, hip hop was terrible back then, but rapping about a lunchbox on your way to school wasn't the thing. But then you start getting the good hip hop where you got LL Cool J, you got Crush Groove coming out, you got Run DMC with the Adidas, now you got your first celebs, your first the culture is forming here, and it's the bones. This is what we live off of. So even now, when I think about what culture is the best, and I look back at the 80s, I'm like, damn, like the 80s really did it. And they sacrificed their arches for us. So I gotta give it to the 80s just for that.
Just for that alone. To the originators.
A lot of fallen arches.
I got you. I can't dispute that. I just think the 80s had some bangers, but the 90s brought them bangers to life.
Oh, they did. Like the 90s, let's be real. The 90s is the golden era. Like you gotta have a trash era to have a golden era. Same thing with movies.
That's a fact.
Now with sneakers like that, I can't argue the 90s down, because I remember when Air Max 95s dropped, everybody was losing their minds. I remember when the TN pluses dropped in the 2000s, everybody was losing their mind because they had the little inserts for it. Mm-hmm. So like when I was thinking about this question, and I was like, this is perfect for you, because looking at your Instagram and like your social media platforms, I'm like, yo, Air Max Day, she did it up. Her and her husband did it up. They had the photo shoot. I was like, oh, me and the wife gotta do that.
You gotta pay homage and respect to the Air Max. 95 is the best one to me. Mm-hmm.
See, this is where I'm an Air Max 1 guy.
I own more Air Maxes than I own. I have ones. I own probably more Air Maxes than I own silhouette wise. I recently realized this. I probably own more Jordan 1s and more Air Maxes than any day.
Mike, judgment.
As far as the era, I agree with, or as far as the argument goes, because
Both.
All right, so as far as the era, I agree with. I gotta go with Christina.
Okay.
I feel like yes, the '80s were the bones, but the '90s were
Yeah.
they perfected what the bones were.
Evolution.
Yeah, evolution
Yeah.
of So I
That's it. The 92 Olympics and the 96 Olympics are really where everything actually jumped off.
Oh yeah.
That's when Michael Jordan was known, he was big, but that golden era of um how we look at people was 92, 96.
Oh, yeah. That dream team class. You had the Barclays, the 180s. You had you had the sevens. You had Magic wearing his Converse, Bird wearing Converse still. You had a the Ewins was out of time. I ain't got nothing to say about that. You right. I feel like she
Yeah.
won the argument.
I'm just saying.
yeah, I think
Well, I feel like I feel like the 80s and the 90s, I feel like you honestly can't just say the 80s or the 90s. I think you have to go 88 to 94
Oh, the
and then
blend.
94 to 99. I think because a lot of what falls over in those eras comes from the previous decade.
so. She gave you 2 years and she got 4. That's basically what she said.
I heard, and I was going to say that, and thank you for giving me 2 years in the 80s. I appreciate it. Still a lot of fallen arches sacrificed for us, and I appreciate that through the Zoom era and the flight. Appreciate it. So we're gonna close out with a little classic game we always play with our guests, and I'm excited for this because I want to hear what you say. I really do. So it's called M.D.C, and that stands for Mary, Barry, and Chill. So basically, you have to give one answer for all three of these acronyms, which would, like I said, Mary, Barry, and Chill. So you can either say the same shoe for all three, or you can give 3 different shoes. Like, it's up to you, entirely up to you. So what's the shoe that you would get married in?
I didn't wear, I wore a pump. But nowadays, I feel like the Jordan 1 is still just a great shoe to updress.
Okay. What would you get buried in? I'm talking box. You up there with the Lord now, and he sees your feet.
Dang. That would be such a selfish thing for me to say. But I would get buried in the red Jordan 1's Virgils.
That's crazy.
Bury me in them.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm
You looking
taking
like,
them with me.
because you know what? You know they
I'm
walk into the
taking 'em with
casket.
me.
Last call. Y'all want to take something? Y'all want the shoes? No, she got to get
I
buried in
know.
those.
Somebody gonna take them off.
That's crazy. All right. So what's one shoe that you can chill in? You had to choose one shoe to chill in for the rest of your life.
The rest of my life.
Yep. All purpose. One shoe. One sneak.
Rest of my life. I'm gonna pick a Brooks. I gotta keep my
Okay.
feet okay.
No, that's totally fine.
Listen, I'm going for comfort if I gotta wear it for the rest of my life.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Brooks GTS Adrenaline 10. Listen, I gotta go for comfort.
I hear you. I know. You ain't wrong. Because I don't think I chose comfort.
I gotta think practically.
I think I chose SB. But, we here now. Okay.
Oh no, my feet would be cooked.
Mike, you how you feel about that?
It was surprising. The Virgin was actually a really good answer. That was actually,
She said it's selfish, but this is what I'm going
that's
out in.
actually a really good answer.
That's definitely
Bury
really good.
me in them.
Okay. So Christina, we appreciate you, pulling up on the Soul Table and blessing us today. I love it. Let the people know where to find you and to tap into Grindhouse Studios. Could you please?
Yeah, you can tap in with me at Christina Faith on all platforms. You can follow at the Grindhouse Inc. Help us get to 10K. We are on our way to 10K. We've gotten like 3,000 followers in the last month, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, hit us up at thegrindhouse.co.
Mike, you got anything?
Yeah, Christina just gave me something. If you're gonna get buried in sneakers, be selfish about it.
That's t-shirt
Bury me
worthy,
in 'em.
Mike. I'm gonna be honest with you. For 3 episodes, he's giving me nothing. That's the first one. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, oh man, as always, this is the Soul Table where culture and conversation and sneakers collide. From our table, from Christina's table to your table, we are the Soul Table.